Welcome to Shameless Plug. I am the host. I am your host, Xavier Madison. This week we are pretty much unscripted. Everything is candid, and this is all going to be in one take, hopefully. So you might see us mess up, and if you do, I apologize in advance. But we're also on camera today, so you get to see our lovely faces. This week it is me with my co-host, Devin Chow. I've known this man for approximately 10 years, so I trust his opinion somewhat, especially with today's topic, which is highly controversial. So without further ado, let's just get into it. What music have you been listening to this week?
This week?
Yeah, old, new.
Listening to more just older music. Just, just classic artists like just Pusha T.
Oh, Pusha T. What album?
The Barcode one, I forgot what it's called.
My Name is My Name? Yeah.
God.
Oh, no, it's not Wrath of Cain. It's Fear of God.
Fear of God.
Yeah, Fear of God. That's some good shit. You recommend that? Alright, that's his weekly recommendation. Let's see. I have personally been listening to a lot of weird stuff, actually. I've been listening to this artist called, Mr. Pookie, but that's not my weekly recommendation. If I had to recommend something this week, it would probably be just Goody Mob, which I've been checking out. I've been really listening to the Dungeon Family a lot this week, so just trying to get into more southern rap. But, it is what it is. We're still looking for new music. Were there any big releases that we're missing that came out last week? Yeah, I don't really think there's anything that big coming out. If there is, I apologize, and I'll put it in the playlist. But for now, I can't think of anything. But, without stalling, without any further ado, let's get into the real topic. So this week, we will be ranking the albums of an artist named Kanye West. Are you ready for it?
I am.
All right. So I just want to say, before we get into this, that these rankings are our own opinions and no one else's. We made these up completely by ourselves. If you hate us for it, then so be it. Fuck it. I don't care. Because there's really no way to get any of these right. They vary from person to person. Everyone has their personal favorite Kanye album. Everyone has their personal least favorite. And at the end of the day, his discog is still one of the best in hip-hop. So, yeah, there's really no right way to rank these, but we will do our best. And so, without further ado, let's start with your favorite. What's your favorite?
I'd rather start with least favorite than favorite. I think it'd be easier.
Okay, least favorite. Okay, pick your
My least favorite, I think, would be Graduation.
Alright, so you think that's his worst album?
Yes. Worst isn't bad, it's just his worst.
His worst, yeah, his worst. Is there a reason?
Reason? It's honestly just compared to the other pieces of work, it's just the worst. Every other thing sounds better, this one sounds better, that's every other album.
So you don't really like I Wonder, Champion, Good Morning?
There's a few good songs, but overall the album as a whole was, I feel like it's some good songs.
Really?
Other ones like College Dropout.
Because most people,
I think that was better.
yeah, College Dropout and Late Registration, I understand, but most people would actually say that Yeezus and Pablo are worse than Graduation. What's your reasoning for that being better?
For Pablo would be my second worst.
Okay.
And I would say that because, I'd say it's better because it's more, unique. I'd say rap-wise, Graduation's better, quality of it.
The quality of the actual rapping?
The music side of it, the production side of it, Pablo's much better.
So okay, so you don't like the pop style he went with on Graduation is what you're saying? Like the stronger,
it's okay.
And it Can't Tell Me Nothing?
Yeah, I don't like that much, it's okay.
Okay.
That's why it's the worst.
Well, let's see. Devin's worst is Graduation. My worst would have to be Life of Pablo. I say that only because as a whole album, it lacks direction to me. I think Graduation had a clear sound. It was what many people call victory rap because it was very celebratory. But Life of Pablo, man, it was all over the place. We got the first half was gospel and shit. And then once we started getting deeper into it, it was a lot of bleaching assholes, fucking blah blah blah. And don't get me wrong, I love that stuff. Like, I love those topics, but I didn't feel like it was a Kanye album. It was more of a Kanye playlist. Like how More Life was supposed to be a playlist. That's what Pablo felt like. Yeah. So as an album, I'd say that one is the worst. So let's get back to second worst. You said Pablo's the second worst?
Yeah, second worst.
Okay. So is there anything bad you have to say about it? Anything good?
Okay, so bad things about Pablo. You covered it. There's really no direction. Every song is which this way, that way.
Yeah.
Things I like about it though. There's quite a few songs that I thought were pretty good that like most people didn't really notice. Like song people I think forgot about. I thought Highlights was pretty good.
Highlights was good.
30 Hours was really good.
And the thing about Highlights is I think it sounds so much better when you play Low Lights.
Oh yeah.
Before it.
Yeah,
You always gotta play. Yeah, you always gotta play Low
I always
Lights.
played that album in order whenever I listened to it back in the day. But, yeah, good things about it was like they were some pretty good songs. A lot of very interesting ideas for songs.
Yeah.
Some worked out, some didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, what you said was like a plus about how you always listen to it in order. I think that's a negative for me because
Well, that was decent.
yeah,
When it first came out,
but
it flowed well.
it did flow well. But I feel like you can't listen to the album on shuffle at all.
Yeah.
Like you can't listen to it because of Father Stretch My Hands Part 1 and 2. You can't listen to it because of Low Lights and Highlights. And I thought that the album was very
You go from like freestyle forward to like ultralight beam and shuffle.
Exactly.
Just like,
exactly like for an album that was just a collection of singles. It really hurt that you had to play it in order.
so I usually listen to like the first 4 songs.
Yeah, exactly. And the first 4 are like everyone's favorites on the album. Even though the last section of the album is really good. With No More Parties in LA, Real Friends, 30 Hours, Saint Pablo. I mean, the last part of that album is really underrated. No one talks about that shit.
Which is weird.
It's really weird. But that's because, he was adding stuff in and out. So there we have our bottom 2. He has Graduation the worst, Life of Pablo the second worst, excuse me. And I have, let's see, this is really hard for me, but I do have Graduation as his second worst album. I know this is going to get a lot of hate because for some reason Graduation is everyone's fan favorite. Everyone loves Graduation. But you know what I think it is? I think it's because that's the age everyone got introduced to Kanye.
Yeah, it's because it's most popular.
It's most popular.
Everyone knows.
Everyone remembers when Good Life was on the radio, and a lot of like people in middle school. That's how old we were, I think, around when it came out, maybe 5th grade. But
I don't remember.
yeah, it was that long ago. But anyway, that's when a lot of people were just getting into like rap, I think. And when you compare it to the rest of his other albums before Graduation, so like College Dropout and Late Registration, it's so much more lighthearted.
Yeah.
It's so much less political. It's so much less like spiritual and like introspective. But I mean, there's still introspective songs in there. Everything I Am,
Right.
But it's just not. It doesn't hit the depth that Late Registration and College Dropout did. Yeah, it is a pop album, So I mean, that's why it's the second worst to me. I get why people put it as their favorite, but I think I value Kanye differently than most people. I think most people value Kanye as this like pop star like who raps, but I like to see him as like a rapper who makes pop hits. If that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, we actually have our bottom 2 the same, just in different orders. I think this is where we might start to drift. What's your third? Going from worst to best, what is your third Kanye album?
I think it'd be Yeezus.
Yeezus. Okay.
Yeah.
You say Yeezus.
Yeah, it was short. All the songs are relatively the same tone, and it was quite a strange tone. Now, Yeezus wasn't bad. You can't really just listen to it all the time because it is a pretty intense album.
It's very intense, but I think I like that about Yeezus.
Yeah,
I like
but
the
it's like,
themes.
but that's the problem. Like, it's only intense, and it's like 7 songs.
I think it's 10. I think we can look it up.
Short, but
Yeah, it was probably one of his shortest.
like, all the songs were the same, like kind of theme.
Okay, so they were very they were
That's why I
similar.
didn't like it as much, but the songs they were still a lot of good songs out there.
Yeah, it was very similar thematically, but I think I give that like a plus for the album. I like that it stuck together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like it held a lot of weight, and I feel like It's actually a really good concept album because it's just full of like debauchery and just like hedonism and like fucking drinking.
It was just controversial.
Yeah,
I was like, what is this? These sirens, these noises. And
yeah.
complaining about it.
A lot of people think he ripped off Death Grips with Jesus. What do you think?
I didn't listen to Death Grips much, but I mean, call it ripping off or.
Some people say that industrial rap, it was like a rip-off of Death Grips. You know, I think it wasn't at all. I think it was its own thing.
Yeah, really.
And I really think it's underrated as far as Kanye albums go.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I do have it in the same category just because the rest of his albums are so good. It's just hard for me to place them anywhere. I do have Jesus as his third worst. You can look at it that way. You can say it's his like fourth best. How many are there? Second. Yeah, so you could say that it's like his fourth best. But I mean, at the end of the day, it is a deviation from the Kanye that everyone knows and loves off of, you know, the first three: Graduation, College Dropout, Late Registration. And I mean, not only that, but as a follow-up to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, I think it was a disappointment. It was a little bit of a disappointment, and I think when it came out, people were really harsh on it. Looking back, though, I think it's aged well.
Yeah, it aged well.
And surprisingly well, right. And I would go as far to say that it aged better than Life of Pablo.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think it sounds fresher than Life of Pablo does now.
Yeah, I'd say so, too.
Yeah, you know?
It aged really well.
It aged really well. So, even though I do have it as his third worst, if you want to say it like that, I think it is also his most underrated album. Because people would say it's his worst or second worst, and I think Life of Pablo is way worse. And you can argue about Graduation, but I do think Jesus is much better of an album than Life of Pablo.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have number 4.
Number 4 for me would be 808s and Heartbreak.
808s and Heartbreak? Okay. So then I guess this is where we start to deviate. All right. Explain why 808s and Heartbreak is number 4.
Well, just compared to the last albums left, there's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, there's Late Registration, and College Dropout, right?
Yeah.
So I just felt that the quality of it was not, like the quality of the production was not as well as the other.
Really?
Yeah, it just feels a little more.
Okay.
I don't know, I guess it's just because it sounds a little older, but.
It does sound dated.
Yeah.
It does sound a little dated, but I disagree, man. I think the production on 808s and Heartbreak was some of the best of Kanye's discography. Like Welcome to Heartbreak. Like I love.
The album was really.
It was heavy, especially with what he was going through.
Yeah. Problems going on at that time.
So you just say.
I don't know, because there's like a lot of songs on there I didn't really. There are like a lot of good songs, and then some songs I just didn't really listen to that much about. This is the album I'd say I listen to the least.
Listen to the least? Yeah. Well, let's go over it. We have Heartbreak.
Yeah, it's
amazing. Welcome to Heartbreak. Well, yeah, Welcome to Heartbreak. Heartless. RoboCop. Streetlights. Streetlights is great. Paranoid. What else do we have? Pinocchio Story Freestyle. Coldest Winter. Love Lockdown. Say You Will. I mean, I don't know, man. It's tough. I mean, I do think that 808s and Heartbreak is his most controversial blah 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 album, even though it's not really. But I think it gets too much of a negative reputation. I mean,
no one really listens to this one.
Yeah. No one ever talks about the album itself, but everyone always talks about the impact it had. Everyone's quick to talk about how this inspired Drake and all these singing rappers, but no one ever gives the album itself credit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that it was his most important album.
Oh yeah, probably.
In his discography.
Yeah.
Next to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, maybe. I think it's his most important album. But with that being said, I kind of see where you're coming from. I would disagree, though. So for my 4th least favorite Kanye album, I'm going to hate myself for doing this. There's really no winning. but I might have to put the College Dropout. You know, this is probably the opinion that's going to get the most hate because that's his debut. But, you know, I do think it's a classic album. I just think in terms of, I guess, song making, it wasn't as strong as 808s and Heartbreak was, even though the rapping is, you know, clearly superior.
Right.
And it might sound weird because I did talk about how I prefer Kanye as a rapper, but I think 808s and Heartbreak is deeper than that. Like, I think 808s and Heartbreak is a perfect reflection of the artist Kanye West actually is. Because for me, I don't even have Kanye West in my top 10 rappers. But I would go far to say that he is the most important artist in hip-hop history. So, I mean, it's a very gray area, sticky situation with him. So, even though I do prefer rapper Kanye, I understand that his role in rap is deeper than being a rapper.
I'd say he's more important than the artist spectrum.
Yeah.
Instead of just rapping flows.
Yeah, he's an artist.
Producer, artist,
director, all that stuff.
How it comes together, not just rapping.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's why I think 808s and Heartbreak is a perfect reflection of him as an artist.
Right.
College Dropout is great, but I do feel like it's kind of, some of the songs I feel like are kind of half-baked, especially compared to Late Registration. I think that it was great when it came out, even though, you know, I was only 6 years old. But I do remember my dad playing it, and I remember being around. And I do think it was good when it came out, but I just feel like compared to what we have now in hip-hop and rap, 808s and Heartbreak is the better album. It's a very hard thing for me to put into words, but I think that 808s and Heartbreak has done so much for hip-hop and the rap community that it would be unfair for me to put it there. And yeah, that's how I feel about it. So College Dropout would be my 4? Yeah, it'd be my number 4. Okay. Going from worst to best. We were at 5.
So now we got
Yeah, we're in the top 3. We're in the top 3, man.
So right now all we have left is, for me, all I have left is College Dropout, Late Registration.
Yes, sir.
So my third favorite out of the 3 would be College Dropout.
Okay.
And my reason for that one is, it's hard to come up with a reason to not put these albums at number 1, but I would say that the College Dropout, I'd say it's like a worse version of Late Registration.
College Dropout is a worse version of Late Registration. That was kind of my argument. That was kind of where I was coming from with it.
So that's why it would be my third, and I think it's worse than my pretty good. So.
Yeah, it's really good. So let's talk about College Dropout in and of itself, though. Like, I mean, it's hard to say what our problem is with College Dropout. Because you don't really have a problem with it. See, once you get to this
I'm
point...
I'm just going to say the other ones are better.
Yeah, exactly. Once you get to this point in his discography, you're just saying the other ones are better. And there's nothing really bad with any of the ones after you know... Right. Like, once you get into the top 4, it really is hard to look at any faults in the albums. But I do see what you say, or see what you mean when you do say that College Dropout is a rougher version of Late Registration.
Similarly formatted.
Thematically too. Yeah, they are very similar. So yeah, it's a very tight battle, I would say. But with that being said, we are going to take a very quick break, just so everyone can take a shit and get the snacks, and do whatever they need to do. So please stick around. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Shameless Plug Podcast. I will play some music like I did last time. Let me know what you think. You can always get at me at Xavierhur, that's XAVIEHUR on all platforms. You can also get at him at, what is it?
At King Dev on Instagram.
Yeah, King Dev at Instagram. That's spelled KINGDEV. So if you have any opinions, let us know. And if you want to fight us, square up. Thank you.
Check it, wow, yo.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thank you for sticking around. Where do we leave off? Let's see. We left off with you saying College Dropout was Kanye West's fifth worst. It's a weird way of putting it.
Third best.
Fifth worst or third best album. Yeah. We really said that it was because it was like a half-baked late registration, which we know is controversial. But I do feel the same way. I feel like it is, a weaker version of late Reggie, which is why I already ranked it, lower than he did. But with that being said, my fifth worst Kanye album would have to be, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That's what most people would call his favorite or his best. I think that it did more for him as a person than it did for his discography. What would you say to that?
From as a person.
Because I think coming off of the Taylor Swift controversy and the whole being called the jackass by Barack Obama, I think My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was Kanye West, reawakening in hip hop. I think it just reset his career and it allowed him to become just like a worldwide superstar as opposed to a rap star. He was already huge in the rap community, but My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, I think it elevated him into what we can call a GOAT. Like GOAT, not in terms of rapper, but GOAT in terms of artistry.
Yeah.
I think it did a lot for him and it showcased that he is a good director of themes, sounds, and just overall album cohesiveness. But I do think that looking back, it hasn't aged as well as I thought it would. I do think that some of the songs are kind of weak. Some songs let's see.
Talking about My Beautiful Dark Twisted.
Yeah, My Beautiful Dark Twisted
I
Fantasy.
don't like
Okay, you do like Blame Game. I kind of feel the opposite. I was thinking more of Gorgeous.
Really? I like Gorgeous.
Gorgeous is good, but some of the lines really get on my nerves. That's the one where he says got caught with 30 rocks. The cop looked like Alec Baldwin. I hated that line. I think that's Gorgeous. But yeah, it just didn't age as well as I thought it would have. That being said, it is a great album. But I think that in terms of his discography, it's overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a little overrated, but it's still pretty good.
It's still pretty good. Is there anything you would disagree with? My opinion on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
There's a few more bad songs you could have named, but
I definitely could have got more into it.
The good songs were really, really, really good on this album.
Oh yeah, the highs were high. The highs were very high. But some of the things just didn't age as well. Monster didn't age as well as I thought it would, even though it's a good song.
Power didn't age well.
Think so?
Well, it was like a popular song when it first came out.
Yeah. Well, that's just because he has so much more music out, you know what I think? Hell of a Life. I still like that song. I love the line on Hell of a Life where it's what I gotta do to be that guy. Say the price go down, she ever fuck a black guy. I love that line. But I do think the song kind of, didn't age as well as I thought it would have. The whole album just didn't age as well as I thought it would have. And it is his most overrated. But, that being said, he does have some great features on there. And it's a great album. But, yeah, number 5.
And My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy would be my sixth album. Or
Sixth.
second favorite.
Second favorite, okay.
One thing I liked about it is it had a lot of really good features, but this was when
good music was still at its strongest.
Really
Kid Cudi was still there.
Yeah, this is why you'd all Kid Cudi, Pusha T.
Common.
Yeah.
John
A
Legend.
lot of Rick Ross features on this album.
Yeah, Rick Ross killed Devil in the New Dress. Oh my god. Oh, thinking about that song gives me chills, man. God damn. That album is really good looking back. Like we said, it's hard to say that these are bad albums because they are the top 3 at this point. So when we do criticize it, just know that even though
we're being really picky.
Yeah, we're being picky. These are still his top 3 albums, and that's our job, is to be picky. So if you disagree with us, take it out on us in the comments or what have you. But yeah, your second favorite is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Any good things you want to say about it?
I just remember when it first came out, I thought the video wasn't the greatest, but I think it made the release a lot. I think it made the release better.
Oh, you mean the movie? Yeah, the movie.
And I don't know, it I like honestly the instrumentals on this album were very nice. You get a lot of piano, in it. A lot more like how do you word it? Like
it was very like instrumental.
Yeah.
It was very like
Pianos,
elegant, ornate.
Just, calm music.
And it was just a grand album.
Yeah.
It was a very grand album because I mean he had so much instrumentation in it, and it was just so it showed opulence, decadence.
Yes.
It was like I think it's what Kanye does best actually. I think he took highbrow sophistication and mixed it with lowbrow, crudeness. Like the song's productions with the themes on it, they're just so jarring that it makes it so hype. Like when you hear all these beautiful instruments come in, and then you hear Kanye West talk about fucking porn stars and like will they do they fuck black guys, that type of stuff. It makes it just so much. It just makes it better.
Yeah, he's good at. No, he's just good at that.
He's just good at combining highbrow and lowbrow. He does it in a tasteful way.
Yeah.
And I do see why you have My Beautiful Dark.
That's why I say he's one of the. That's why I think he's one of the best artists.
Right, best artist.
Not rapper, but artist.
Is he in your top 10? Rapper?
Rappers?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really come up with the top 10.
You don't have a top 10?
Top 5, he had top 5.
That's next week, folks.
He wasn't in my top 5. He was in my top 5 artists, not top 5.
But not top 5 rappers. Okay, yeah, I feel that way. I feel the same way. Okay, so your second favorite is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. My second favorite is actually 808s and Heartbreak. I already gave a lot of praise for the album earlier in the podcast, but I will just reiterate it by saying that album really showcases Kanye West, the Kanye West that we know and love, not afraid to take a risk, not afraid to, pour his heart out on a track and just make songs about the situation that he's currently going through. And I do think that it marked a turning point in his mental health, not in a good way, but in a profound way, that we are going to look at that album in the future and just dissect it on a whole new level. Like I think,
you really think that?
I think we're gonna look in the future and dissect that album in terms of what it did for hip hop, what it indicated about Kanye West, and what it did for pop music in general. I do think it's a very underrated album. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. Maybe it's just because I'm a sad boy. I don't know. But I do love it, and it is my second favorite.
Came out at an important stage in his life, so
right.
I'd say.
And just the fact that he followed up Graduation with an album like that takes balls. That takes kahunas to follow up your biggest album so far, full of pop hits, with a very sorrowful, more experimental album. Right. And so, it's Kanye at his most Kanye, and I love it. But if you have been paying attention to the podcast, you will notice that we only have one album left between the two of us. So it's clear to see that we both think Late Registration is Kanye West's best album. I will let my co-host Devin talk about why he thinks that first.
Well, honestly, if you just look at the track list, you look at all the songs.
Let's look at the track list.
I wouldn't say there might be one bad song. I'd say every song on there is very good.
Yeah, very good.
They all provide they're all very central theme, not hopping around everywhere, but they're all very different at the same time.
Yes, all the songs sound different, but the album is cohesive in theme.
Right.
I don't even know what bad song there is looking at it. Because we got what? We have Wake Up Mr. West, that's a skit. But we got Heard Him Say, Touch the Sky, Gold Digger, Drive Slow, My Way Home, Crack Music. That is my favorite song by Kanye West of all time, I think. Crack Music is just Kanye at his most political, his most, unashamed. He had the game on the fucking hook. That's that crack music, nigga. I mean, damn. That song is Kanye that we will never get back again. I'm just glad we got him when we did. We had him in our lives, but we will never get that Kanye back again. I mean, God, Crack Music. His most underrated song. If you don't like that music, it's because you're not for the culture. If you don't like crack music, you don't know hip hop. I'm sorry. But yeah, there's really not any bad song on the album. But let's get in. Why do you think it's better than College Dropout? Because most people would say College Dropout's better.
Really?
Or most of my followers.
Well, I mean, honestly. They're very, very similar, so it's kind of hard to compare in that sense. I just think that like most of the songs here are like just a better. I don't know if they're not a better version, but they're like.
He takes what he's already had on College Dropout and maximizes it. Like this is where we got hints of the ornate, opulent Kanye West. We got that on Late and Diamonds, with the instrumentation. He just sounds more confident during the album. He sounds more like he found his footing.
It just made it like it just worked into the music. I can tell.
Right. It indicated that Kanye West was going to be a huge artist. Like most people were skeptical about him starting his rap career with College Dropout, and they were pleasantly surprised. But I don't think people saw that Kanye was going to be taking his music into such a huge direction until Late Registration came out, and we got those huge tracks. Like he had Adam Levine, he had Jay-Z, he had Paul Wall on there. I know
Common, Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, Common.
They're all rappers back in the day. Just was popular.
I mean, he's
big names.
Yeah, big names. He's great at that. Let us see. Oh, Gold Digger was on there. Oh, he had Nas. How are we forgetting Nas? We major. Come on, homie. Yeah, shit, man. And Consequence.
Oh, that's Consequence.
That's Q-Tip's nephew, right?
I don't know that much about Consequence.
Okay, but yeah, Consequence, man, he was my man back in the day. Don't Quit Your Day Job, great album. Check that out. That whole era of music and good music was great. It was prime, and we will never get that back again. All we can do is hope that Kanye comes back and finds his footing. I think the lesson we took away from these rankings is that there's no bad Kanye album. What would you say to that?
I wouldn't even say Graduation, which was my first one. Bad.
It's not even a bad album.
It's pretty freaking good.
Oh, as far as albums go, most people can't make an album even close to Graduation.
Exactly.
Or Life of Pablo. Most people can't even come close to that. So keep in mind, we aren't saying any of these albums are bad. We're saying this is all relative to his discography. Right. So yes.
The best.
Yeah, it's the best of the best. Right. But yes, Kanye, one of the best discogs in hip hop. We just attempted at ranking them. Who knows? We might change our mind in the future. I've had this ranking for a while though. This is how I felt. We'll see when Kanye's next album comes out where it ranks. We might have to make some revisions. But this was a very fun podcast. I'm glad I got to have my friend Devin on as a guest.
Pleasure.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap things up?
Unless you want to just talk about like Kanye as an artist, like some great things.
Oh, I could go on for hours. I think we're going to save that for another podcast.
Alright.
But let me ask you, let's see. What albums are you looking forward to for the rest of 2017? Probably Pusha T.
Yeah.
Because he promised another follow-up to
Kanye
is that
like I don't know when that's coming out.
Oh, is that a collaboration between them?
Yeah, there's like some.
Oh.
I think they said it was almost done.
Oh, that could be great or it could be terrible.
Yeah. That one's an interesting one. Yeah. I really, biggest Brockhampton fan, so I'm not really.
Oh, Saturation 3?
I'm not really looking too forward to that. I can't really think of much else.
I mean, that's a fine list right there. So you're excited for Pusha T and the Kid Cudi Kanye collab?
Interesting, yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it. Devin Chow, shameless plug. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. As always, I'm the host. I'm your host, Xavier Madison. You can always get at me at XAVIEHUR. If you have anything to say, if you enjoyed the podcast, share it. If you didn't enjoy the podcast, share it. I don't care. I just want the listens. But I do love you all. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good day, good weekend, whenever you're listening. And goodbye.